So we're going to do Eocene leaf fossils today in Idaho, northern Idaho. The idea here is these fossils are about 16 million years old. They're from a lake. You can actually find some fish fossils in here. The fish fossils are rare. There are insect fossils as well, which are rare. Leaf fossils are incredibly abundant. You can fill your boots with leaf fossils kind of thing. The layers go all the way over here. They've been discovered there as well. And of course you can see the lines in the earth. So the idea is you go in and you're after the darker stuff. If it's red or dark color, that's what you want. You're not really after the lighter color seams. So you're just pulling it apart. It's sedimentary. This was like, when I say it's a lake, it was an old lake, cold lake. And so there was no anaerobic activity down near the bottom, which means the sediment built up. And with no anaerobic activity, like when it's cold, you don't have oxygen. That's probably what I'm trying to say. So it's an oxygen-starved environment, which means there's no anaerobic activity. So no decomposition from bacteria and things like that. Instead, the organic material just got preserved in the sedimentary layers. So we're gonna go through, it's pretty much from the bottom to the top. Doesn't matter where you go. People have pulled fish out of there recently. And like I said, the leaf fossils are abundant. So as far as this site goes, it's a great site. Kenneth, the manager here, there's a family that's here. You can pull in off the highway and talk to them at their workshop, or run up the hill here. You'll see their farmhouse if they're not there, or ranch house, whatever you want to call it. Go ahead and talk to them, just get permission. It's a very affordable dig, $20 while I'm here, $20 per person, and you can take as much as you want, as much as you can pull away you can take. So that's a general idea. Let's get into it. By the way, any vehicle can get here, even low clearance cars. This material is damp. When it comes out, it's very damp, and you're gonna want to split them open within a few days of it coming out. You can try and preserve the fossils as well by putting them in a freezer. You can even try freeze drying them, literally just leaving them in a freezer for a year, just like how meat would freeze dry if it's just left in there. So if you put them in a freezer, there's a good chance, this is a tip of a leaf by the way, there's a good chance it's going to survive longer, and you can let people crack it open later, like you just let the brick thaw and they can crack it later. But if the moisture comes out of these rocks, they're very difficult to split. So keep that in mind. And so with that being said, too, the face here is a bit dried out, so you want to kind of dig into it a bit and then start splitting those. Meaning you want to get past the dried out layer that the sun has scorched, essentially. Let's crack a bunch open. I'll show you what I'm getting. I wonder if you can see this. This isn't a fossil, but I think it's really cool because you can actually see the mica layers. Like, see, there's the golden kind of layer there and the gray layer, but you see the sparkles all throughout. That's from the mica. Just like if you've ever been gold panning, there's lots of mica in your pan. Same kind of concept. But yeah, I just think that makes for quite a really pretty rock. There's little pieces of leaf, but we want something more full. Ooh, look at this one. You can see the leaf well in there. So I can hit at the back and try and get some of the excess off. But There's the leaf tip. Getting the more full leaves is a bit more difficult. So you can kind of just scrape at the bank and pick pieces if you want. You can take the bigger ones that come down like this and split them further. Here's where we're at with it. There's also butter knives kicking around. So the really, really moist ones, you can get the butter knives in there and split them on the layer you want. These are the kinds of ones the butter knife is good for. When you split it and you clearly have a nice, good leaf fossil, you can get the butter knife under there and pry it apart. Sometimes you have to put the tip of the knife right on the fossil to actually alleviate the overwrought well, but that's why they're kicking around. They're not really here to generally split the layers, they're here to clean up after you split. All right, there we go. You can see a little tool imprint right above my thumb there where the butter knife kind of hooked and pried upwards, but I was able to take everything off on that exact same layer and expose that fossil leaf better. I'll just show you some of the stuff. Fern fossils, different paired ferns, different leaves, lots of different varieties of stuff here. This was a cool one, I don't know what that is, but there's the negative of it. Negative and positive casts. That's the idea. So you have the positive and the negative. The positive is where the actual fossil is, and the negative is the imprint, but they're very abundant. That pile is my favorite. I definitely scrapped a few, but I've been here for a good hour or so, but look at that. That one was just sitting right on the ground there. It's good to bring newspaper up to the site to wrap all your pieces in, especially damp newspaper, to keep the moistness level in these and let them slowly cure and acclimate and not just get shocked and dry out immediately in this blazing sun up there. This is a good example of what happens when the fossils dry out. So you can see here the layers cracking and bowing, like bending, due to the moisture loss. So your fossils are going to be very fragile. That's a cool leaf fossil, but it's got to stay on a stand and you can't let kids touch it. Here's some of the other cool ones too. Let me show you guys something really cool. This is one I was peeling apart here. See that? It's almost like it's still organic material. It can actually bend just like a piece of grass. Should I eat it? Look at this. Look at that. You can literally take it right off of there. I'm gonna eat it. How many people you know have eaten 16 million year old leaf? That's a swallow. This is how COVID-3 starts. Done. Tastes like paper.